So let's talk about this dogmatic belief that people are supposed to be debt free in America. Like, where did this even come from? Like, why is this a thing, right? Like, 77% of households in America are in debt, right? And the average debt in American households is $105,000. So some people hear those numbers and they say, oh my God, I don't want to be one of those. You don't want to be one of the 77% that's actually living their life, doing what they want to do. Like, I read something that said, be debt free, live below your means, sacrifice, enjoy the little things. So I'm not trying to enjoy the little things. I'm not trying to live by the lowest common denominator. So I am trying to live within my means. I'm trying to live within my budget. I'm trying to live within the rich life that I have defined for myself, right? So I have the 5 keys to keeping it rich, which I created after doing the Black Enterprise Declaration of Financial Empowerment seminar around the country. I actually edited and helped to create the second iteration of that for Black Enterprise. And I went around talking to hundreds of Black professional groups about how to build wealth in America. And one of the main things you have to do is you do have to manage your credit, right? So even with the 5 keys to keeping it rich, the first key is to define your rich, then you need to invest in your rich. Then the third key is to build your credit. And then you need to own something, and then you need to hire people to help you manage it and take care of your rich life. Black Enterprise didn't say it, I didn't say it either, about being debt free. Of course, you have to manage your debt, right? Manage is an active word, it's an action word. I say that all the time. You have to constantly manage it. The thing about credit and debt is you have to leverage your debt and you have to build your credit. You have to manage your credit. But this concept, I realize that a lot of people in America, a lot of my friends, a lot of close people to me, my family members, are really stressed out and depressed, like over the fact that they have debt. So I want you to know that 77% of American households have some form of debt, and that's not a bad word. And I also want you to know that the average debt, the average, meaning you put together the top amount of debt and the low amount of debt, you come to $105,000. That's the average debt in a house. That's including the mortgage, the car note, the credit cards, the student loans, you name it. You're at 105,000. A lot of you are agonizing and you have maybe $5,000 in debt, maybe $10,000 in debt. And you feel like a bad person because somehow you feel like you've done it wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be done. Um, I messed up. I didn't pay close attention to the financial advisor. And I want you to know that financial advisors are great. That's the fifth key to keeping it rich. You need to hire you some advisors, but make sure you have an advisor that's helping you achieve your rich life. The first key to keeping it rich, that you've defined what rich is for you, what good is for you, and that financial advisor is helping you get there. Not someone who's trying to make you feel like you're a bad American because you have debt, when 77% of Americans have debt. And for the people listening who are saying, well, I don't want to be like one of those 77%. I want to be part of the 23% that don't have any debt. So I'm going to tell you who they are, right? Those are the ones that are living, quote unquote, below their means. Um, so I listened recently, I heard a video on Popular Financial Guides page. And the person called in, they said, we're completely debt free. We don't have a mortgage. We don't have car notes. We don't have anything. We've retired to Florida, but we can't afford to pay our bills. We're bringing in about $60,000 a year, but they still have $5,000 in expenses, right? And you know why? Because even when you're debt free, you're still going to owe somebody money, right? So let's talk about that. You still have insurance, right? You have a car, so you're still gonna have car insurance. You have health insurance. You have heat and hot water. You might have the cruise payment, right? Because you're paying for that on time. There's still gonna be bills. You understand? There's bills. There's like a cost to living, right? There's groceries. Like there's a cost to living, and so I don't want you to be in a situation where you're just feeling like because I owe people money then I'm a bad person. I did it wrong. No, you didn't do it wrong. So the thing is, what you want is you don't want to owe more than you own. right? So that means you want your assets to be higher than your liabilities. So your debt, the creditors, the people you owe, those are all considered liabilities, right? So you want that to be smaller than your assets. So the things you actually own. So your house is worth $500,000, but I owe $400,000 to the bank. So then that means your net worth based on just that would be $100,000 in the positive. And you need to feel that positive. That $100,000 in equity that you have in your house is worth something. That says when you sell that house, that's going to be $100,000 for you in your pocket, for you to invest in the next thing, for your children to go on to school or whatever it is you want to do with that. So I want you to feel that. I want you to own that. I don't want you to walk around feeling like I'm a terrible bad person because I still owe $400,000 on my mortgage, or I still owe $25,000 on my car, right? So there is interest rates. So people are like, oh, but I'm paying all this interest every month. Well, maybe you shouldn't look at that, right? Don't look at the interest rate every month. I know it sounds crazy, but you've already signed the deal. You needed it. You needed the car. You needed that car payment. You have a job. You have an income, apparently, because you got approved for the car payment. So pay your payments on time. When you're looking to build your credit, credit is a thing, right? American creditors, they get it. They get it that you're going to have debt, you're going to have credit. The goal is to pay it on time. That's worth like 50% of your credit score. Pay all your debts on time. That's effectively managing your credit. So don't worry about the total number. Don't look at it all and add it all up and look at your interest payments and add it all up and freaking out over it all the time. That's not helping anybody, okay? What you want to make sure is the amount that you have to pay is less than the amount that you bring in. That's what you want to make sure of, right? And you want to also save at least 10% of everything that you're bringing in. On a weekly paycheck, on a monthly paycheck, however it comes in, you want 10% to be going to some savings vehicle. Okay? That's it. You can figure that out, then you're doing okay. This whole I need to be debt free. Why do I have these balances? Stop that. Stop that. We're not doing that. We are not doing that.